Good morning, everyone, guys. I am sharing my screen. Yeah, okay, guys. Am I audible? Okay, so today we'll discuss with collection framework. Okay, before going to start the collection framework, so in the Java, we'll try to understand three approaches. Okay, in the approach number one, so normally we can store the data in three approaches. Okay, so we'll go with one by one. Okay, first one is in case of approach one, already you guys aware of the variables, right? Like I would say the meaning of the variables. So variables are the containers which is used to store the data, which is used to store the data. So this is the data. Normally, if I want to store the some student marks or any data, if I want to store every value, it needs containers. So here, basically, after the variables, we done the discussion with the data types. In the data types, basically, which is divided into two types. One is primitive, and second one is the non-primitive. In the primitive type, where we discussed in the, I would say, byte, int, short, short, next long, okay, next float, double, char, and then boolean. Okay, boolean total 3 6 total 8. Okay, next these are the primitive data types. So where we have the non-primitive data types, in the non-primitive data types category, non-primitive data types category, we have the strings, class, arrays, class, comma, collections. Okay, these are comes under the non-primitive data types, right? Generally, if I want to store the any data, it need containers. Okay, if I go with the primitive approach, for example, if I want to store the student details, okay, if I take the subject one, if I take the subject one equal to some I would like to mention some 80 marks. Okay, so similarly, if I want to store the multiple objects, so I need multiple containers. Are you guys clear? Are you guys following my words? It need multiple containers. You can assume if I want to create the data of 1 lakh, for example, if I want to store the 100 subject, I would say 100 subject marks, I need 100 containers. If I want to store the 1000 subject marks, I need 1000 containers. If I want to store the 1 lakh subject marks, I need 1 lakh containers. 1 lakh containers. Okay, this is the recommended way. If I want to store the 1 lakh data, I need 1 lakh containers, 1 lakh variables. Okay, so this way is not recommended. Why? Because if you are taking the multiple variables, what finally you memory will be lost, and it will take that is not at all recommended way. It will increase the lines of code, and uh, we need to create more variables. Creating the more variables meaning we are giving the space to the variables. Okay, so it will take lot of time, right? So to avoid that issue, to overcome that issue, so the JDK people is introduced the arrays concept. Okay, they has introduced the arrays concept. Okay, this is the first, in the first approach we can store the values by using the primitive data types. We can store only single value. If you want to try to store the multiple values, no, it will throw the error. It will throw the error. Okay, so we have some disadvantages in the array variables in the first approach. So that's why the JDK people has introduced the arrays concept. Okay, in the approach number two, by using the arrays we store the values. We'll see. Now by using the arrays you can store the multiple values, right? Now if I want to store the like 1,000 subject marks and 2,000 subject marks, so in the single line also I can store, right? In the single line also I can store. So but here only the disadvantage is, for example, if I write int I would say array and then arr equal to new int, I will mention this one, right? So here I'll declare with size, some size. So what will happen? So to overcome this issue, we can by using the arrays. Arrays is the container which can hold the multiple values. It can hold the multiple values. So here the beauty of arrays is it can store the values based on the index position, and here it can store the values is homogeneous. It can store the values is homogeneous. Are you guys clear with my point? And the size is fixed. Size is fixed. Size is fixed. Huh? Data type. No, data type is you can take anything. This data type you can take anything. Okay, it can hold homogeneous, and the size is fixed. And so these are the disadvantages in case of arrays concept. Okay, the size is fixed. If you want to increase the size, it is not possible. Okay, whatever the size we have created, so based on that size, array internally in the heap memory, array it will allocate the memory. Okay, it is the homogeneous and the size is fixed. It is the homogeneous and the size is fixed, and it can homogeneous meaning it can allow similar data type only. For example, if I want to store the student details, so in that case how can I create the array for the student object? So you can take the class name the student and then array, and then you can mention with variable name and new student, and then here if I mention some size, for example if I mention 3, then I will store the details like this, like array of 0 at the zeroth position, new student. Here I will pass the details like this, like I would say some Raju. Okay, some Raju, like this I will pass the details Raju and some number like this, and the same at the array index position arr index position at 1, and I will store the same student new. So like this. So the same student details I can store here. The same student details I can store here. Like here I can take the subject like some English subject, and here I can take the some marks 80. Okay, 80, and here I will take some other subject, some max. Okay, some max. So here if I take the like this, if you observe here, the thing is, um, if I declared with the student object, it can store the all the student related data only. this is the array got created. The beauty of array is it can store the data based on the index positions, but we can we can store the data only student related data only. If I want to store the employee data, no, it cannot accept. Why? Because it is the homogeneous. It can allow only similar data type of values only. Similar data type of values. Are you guys clear with my point? This is the homogeneous and the size is fixed. It can hold only one object related data only. If you it can you are declaring the array with student, then it can hold only student data. It can hold only student data. Okay, if I want to store the multiple the object data, so there we have the third approach. The third approach is approach number three. If you see here the drawback is it is holding only student data. If I want to hold the multiple objects data like student data, employee data, some person data, how can I do that? So that's where we have the third approach. In the third approach, every class in Java, every class parent class is the object, right? So now we can create the class with the object. We can create array with object. For example, I will show you object some name. You can take anything. So object equal to new object. Okay, if I declare like this one, now I can store all the object details. Like I can take student details, I can store employee details, I can store person details. Why? Because every class parent class is the object, right? So that I can read all the data. I can able to store all the object details. Okay, now I am mentioning with 0 equal to new. I am creating the object student, and then here I am mentioning some Rani, and then here I am mentioning some number details of student, and array of at the index position 1. So here I would like to store new student, not student. I will take the employee. Okay, here I am storing some Raju, some marks is 88. Next array of index, but here I will mention the size is 3. Okay, now I will mention with the 2. Okay, equal to new employee. Here I will mention some other name, some Madhu, some Madhu. Here I will take the data which is Madhu, and taken some 84. Okay, so here it can hold the only same data type of data, but how to overcome? So to overcome that issue, we have the third approach. In the third approach, if you take the array as the parent class, then with that you can store all the classes data. Like you can store the student data, you can store the employee data, you can store the some any class data, you can store like this. Okay, but here also the disadvantage is size. Here also the disadvantage is size. The size is fixed. Okay, the size is fixed. Only here we have the drawback, like which can hold the only similar data type. So how to overcome? So that's where we have the in the third approach we have the like a every class parent class is the object. So that's where we can store the multiple objects data. But here the disadvantage is also object. The size of the object is fixed. So how to overcome that object? How to overcome that issue? So that's where the JDK people has introduced the collections topic. Collections topic. Okay. Collections topic. Okay. The main purpose of the collections, which is used to store the group of group of elements. Okay, the collections framework is which is used to store the group of objects. Objects, we can say data, anything is fine. Okay, okay. This is the one point, the main purpose. And second point is collections are growable in nature. Collections have growable nature. Second point is collections are in growable nature. Growable growable nature meaning here the size is fixed, right? So how to overcome that size? So that's where the collection is, we have the collection topic. In the collection topic, sizes, the collections are in growable meaning we can increase increase we can increase the size, and we can decrease the size. We can decrease the size, we can increase the size, and we can decrease the size. This is the growable in nature. Okay, the first point is which is used to store the group of objects, and the second one is the collections are growable in nature, meaning you can increase the values, we can decrease the we can increase the values, and we can decrease the values automatically. Okay, the third point is in the collections we can insert the data, we can insert insert the data, we can retrieve the data, we can retrieve the data, we can update the data, we can update the data dynamically. So this is the beauty of collections. Second one is global in nature. So here the size is fixed, right? But in case of collections, we can increase the size automatically, we can decrease the size automatically based on the requirement. So normally, for example, I will tell some some real-time example. For example, such we are running the institutes, right? Like for example, I am thinking like, will you expect like how many members will be join in the next batch? No, we don't have any idea. For example, if I think like, we will join might be 50 members. If I spend for one room, and I will purchase one projector for that room specially. Okay. I would say I will purchase one projector. I will purchase one board. So these are the things I purchase. So my estimation is 50 members. But so the I would say that, but the batch I joined only 10 members only. So whatever I invested, so everything I will be lost or not. I will be lost. So we don't know what will be happen in the future, like how many members will be joined exactly. We don't have any idea, right? So that's why. So in the collections topic, so that is the advantage. We don't know what will happen in the future. So that's why based on that we can insert the data, we can retrieve the data. Okay, we can insert the data, we can retrieve the data. So collection, the main purpose of the collections is this one. Basically, like to overcome these advantage. So variables, in the variables, it can hold the data only single values only. To overcome that issue, they has introduced the arrays concept. Arrays concept, they can hold the multiple values, but with similar type, same type only, and the size is also fixed. The size is also fixed. Okay, so how to overcome the say similar type, like which is the only homogeneous, right? So how to overcome that issue? So that's why we have the third approach. In the third approach, we can hold the multiple values, meaning heterogeneous, it can support heterogeneous. But here also we have the only one disadvantage is fixed size. So how to overcome those sizes, how to overcome this issue? So to overcome these issues, they has introduced the collection topic. Okay, in the collection topic, so to overcome all the issues, basically the collections are global in nature, meaning we can increase the values, we can decrease the values, and then where we have the collection, we can insert, retrieve, and update the data dynamically, right? So generally, like the topics, whatever the topics you completed, exceptions, exceptions, exception handling, right? And this topic name is the collection framework. Collection framework. Why I am calling this is the framework? Are you guys clear with my pointer? We done with the exception handling, right? So at the time of exception handling, I'm not said anywhere. This is the not a framework. Okay, this is the not framework. Like this is the normal topic only. But in case of collection framework, we are discussing about the framework. Then what does it mean by framework? So why you are using the framework? Are you guys clear with my point? Framework. So collections as a exception we done completed, right? So this is normal topic only. But whenever you are discussing with the collection framework, this is the framework. What does it mean by framework? What does it mean by framework? Framework meaning generally it is the ready-made software. Basically, it will provide all the required libraries. For example, if I want to make a biryani, so what I do simply I need to purchase some groceries like rice, next some groceries like masala and some oil, and after that I bowl. Okay, so I keep the rice stove also. Uh, I wash the rice and then I keep on the bowl the rice and then I start to. So the entire process it will take 2 hours, right? 2 hour or at least it will take 1 hour. 1 hour. So this is the normal approach. So if I go with the framework, so I can make it like there's some ready-made products are there like in the market like Maggie, next Ippy noodles will be there, right? So we can prepare the food within 2 minutes. How will you prepare? Already the ready-made already will be there. Simply you can take that one, we can prepare the food like, right? So framework also similar to Maggie and Nippy, like that only. Okay, you can immediately prepare the food for eating. So here framework is the software which will have the all ready-made products like all ready-made libraries. With the help of those libraries, we can easily develop the projects. So that is the advantage with the framework. Okay. So that's why we are calling as the collection framework. Collection framework meaning here all ready-made, it is the ready-made software. Here all libraries are available. All libraries are available. Okay. In the collection framework, we have the interfaces. So collection is the one interface. Collection parent is the iterable, and then collection, and then in the collection we have the list, set, queue, list, set, queue, and then we have the map of. Okay, are you guys clear with my point? This is the hierarchy. Iterable is the parent, and then under the iterable we have the collection. Collection is the interface. These all are interfaces. Iterable is the interface, list is the interface, set is the interface, queue is the interface, and map is also interface. Okay, what is the main purpose of the list? List which is used to store the group of objects. It is used to store the group of objects. Okay, and here also set is the main purpose of which is used to store the group of objects. Group of objects. Q my main purpose are also same to store the group of objects only. Okay, and here which is also store the group of objects in the form of key value pair. Only little difference will be there in the form of key value pair. Key comma value pair. key comma value pair. Okay, but only the difference is in the list it doesn't allow duplicate values. It doesn't allow duplicate values. Duplicates. Okay, so it will allow duplicates, and here it will follow the tree format. It will follow the tree format. Okay, in the list interface again we'll be having in the list interface, so where we'll be having the hierarchy, collection hierarchy. So collection hierarchy also very very important. So I will show you the collection hierarchy in collection framework hierarchy. Collection framework in Java. This is also important in the interview perspective. Can you please tell me the difference between array and collection? So these are the drawbacks we have in the arrays. Like the arrays are fixed, the array sizes are fixed. With respect to memory, arrays are not recommended to use, and with respect to performance, arrays are recommended to use. And arrays can hold only homogeneous data type elements and no underlying data structure and no ready-made method support. Okay, it can hold both primitive and objects. Okay, these are the differences between arrays and collections. Okay, next thing is collection is the basically interface. If you want to represent the group of objects as a single entry, then we should go for collections. Next thing is collection framework. It defines several classes and interfaces to represent group of object as a single entity. Okay, so in the collection framework, I have already several predefined classes and interfaces to represent group of objects as a single entity. Okay, and the next important is what is the difference between the collection and collections. Okay, collections is the class, collection is the interface. So that is also the most of them are confusing. Okay, collection is the interface, collections is the class. Next, this is available in the java.util package. Java.util package. All the collection interfaces and collection classes together are together as a collection framework, and all the collection classes are classified into three categories. So those are three categories. This one, list, set, queue, and map. These three are comes under the one family, and this is comes under the one family. Meaning all are under the collection framework only. But this will be stored in the object format. But here it will be stored the data in the key value pair. Here the data will be stored in the object format, and here the data will be stored in the key value pairs. Key value pairs. Are you guys clear with my point? And the next thing is in the list category, the main purpose of list it is used to store the group of individual elements where the elements can be duplicated. Where the elements can be duplicated. In the list interface, whose object cannot be created directly. Okay, to work this category, we have to use the following implementation class of the list interface. In the list interface, these are the subclasses like array list, linked list, vector, and stack. Okay, so in the array list, the object will be stored based on the index positions. In the linked list, the object will be stored in the link format. Link format. Okay, vector and stack it will be stored in the like where we'll be having LIFO and FIFO, like first in first out, last in last out. Generally, for example, whenever you are going to the Chrome, right? For example, you are looking from some history, so the history will be stored. How the, for example, if you are like looking for URLs, how the data will be stored which is stored in the form of vector only, LIFO format only. Whatever you are looking in the last time, so it will be displayed on the first, right? Okay, there also it is following the LIFO. Next is set. Set meaning which is used to store the group of individual elements, but the elements cannot be duplicated. So here it can, which is in the list interface, it can store the duplicate values. It can store the duplicate values. Why? Because the beauty of here we have the array list, right? In the array list, it can store the values based on the index positions. Okay. For example, at the index position 1, we can take some Razu. At the index position 2 also, you can take the some Razu. Based on the index positions, we are storing the data, right? So we can take the duplicate values. But in case of set, here we'll be having the hash code. Based on the data, there it will be stored internally based on the hash data. For example, if you are trying to store the like duplicate values, it will return only one value. That is the latest value it will return. So old value it will be uh, replaced with new value. Okay. So here it will follow the FIFO, first in first out, first in first out. But in the hmm, queue also one, I would say one interface basically which in the data structure every class will maintain the data structures. Here also queue also will maintain the data structure. In the data structure, it will follow the FIFO and then meaning of first in first out. So here it will follow the data structure is the tree format. Tree format. Okay. Next one is the maps. In the maps, which is used to store the elements in the form of key value pairs where the key cannot be duplicated and values can be duplicated, right? So map is the interface whose object can be created directly. To work with the category, we have to use the implementation of the classes map like this: hash map, linked hash map, tree map, and hash table. These are comes under the maps. Okay, these all are the classes and this is the interface. This is the interface. Okay. So this is the diagram, collection hierarchy diagram. These symbols are the stereotypes. Stereotypes. Where which word is having the stereotypes? Those all are the interfaces. Interfaces. Interface. So first collection is the interface. Under the collection is having sub interfaces like set, list, queue. Under the set we have the hash set, linked asset. Next thing is shortest set. Next navigable set and tree set. Tree set, right? In the list we have the array list, vector and linked list. Vector and linked list. Next thing is under the queue we have the linked list and then priority set. So next thing under the map interface, this is the family, right? And this is the one family in the map, but they both are coming from collection framework only, but this family is different, this family is different. Okay, here the parent is collection. Here which is started with map, shorted map. This is the interface, and remaining all of the classes. Hash table is the class, hash map is the class, linked hash map is the class, and tree map is the class. Tree map is the class. So the dotted lines are the implements, and normal arrow mark is the extends keyword. Okay. Okay. Then so we'll go with the list interface. So in the list interface, it is the child interface of the collection. And if you want to represent the group of individual objects where duplicates are allowed and insertion order is preserved, then we should go with list. Okay, we can differentiate duplicate objects and we can maintain the insertion order by means of index. Hence index plays important role in the list. Okay, so whenever you are going with the list, so we need to remember the index positions. So if it is the index positions, you can store the duplicate values also. Why? Because the data is storing based on the index position, right? We can simply remember like that. When it is the if it is the index positions, then you can say it can allow the duplicate values also. It can allow the duplicate values. Duplicate values meaning the same data. We can store the same data. We can store the same data. Okay. These are the some methods, some specific methods in the list interface. So after this, we'll go with the array list. So normally how the array list will be there. So the first point is array list is the implementation of collection interface, and second one is data structure. Data structure is resizable, and internally it will use the array to store the data. So the beauty of array is you can store the values and you can retrieve the values based on the index positions, right? In the array list also, it is the underlying data structure is resizable, and internally it will use the array size also. So here it can allow the duplicate values are allowed. Okay, insertion order is preserved. Insertion order is preserved meaning how we are adding the values, the same values you can, whenever you are printing the values, it will be display the same values. Next thing is homogeneous values are allowed. Next thing is null insertion is possible. Null values also you can insert. Okay, null values also you can insert. So these are the points you can remember in case of array list. Okay, so the same thing we will discuss here. It will allow the duplicates. Okay, we'll discuss with array list. So the first point is array list is the predefined class. Array list is predefined class predefined class which is available in java.lang package, which is available in java.lang package java.lang package. That is the first point. And array list is the array list is the subclass of subclass of list interface list interface. Okay, so in the array list data structure is resizable. Data structure is resizable. Okay, and then here it will internally it will use arrays to store the data. Okay, next insertion order is preserved. Okay, next point is insertion order is insertion order is preserved preserved. Next point is it can allow the duplicate duplicate values. These are the points you should remember in case of array list. Okay, next duplicate values also, it can allow duplicate values also. It can allow null values. It can allow null values also. It can allow null values. It can allow null values also. Okay. So normally the syntax for the array list is the predefined class, right? So these are the predefined class. The syntax for the array list, normally I will create the object array list where you can store in some reference variable al, and this data type is the this one, array list. Okay, array list. So which is available in java.lang package. Java.lang package. I will show you where it is available. If you go to your document, Java SE 8, you can scroll down. If you click on java.lang package, and if you scroll down, classes, in the C category, space, collection interface, java.package, can go with. And if you see, which is available in the java.release package, if I click on it, so the basically array list is the predefined class. Array list is the predefined class, okay, which is available in the java.util package. Okay, java.util package, which is available in java.util package, java.util package. Okay, so if I scroll down, these are all the methods: clear method, clone method, get method, isEmpty method, iterator method, list iterate method, remove method. These all the methods, all are the methods are available in the array list class. So am I created these all the methods? No, JDK people already created array list and all the methods. JDK people already created. So I am using those predefined classes and interfaces, and I am so based on the requirement, I will store the data. Okay, simply I will go to my IDE, and then I'm taking one file. I'm taking the package. The package name is collections. Okay. So here I would like to take the class name is, you can type any class name. I am taking the my class name is demo. So inside demo class, so array list is the predefined class, right? So how will you create the object for the predefined class? You can take the main method. Okay, you can create the object with the parent class. I would say predefined class, array list, import array list java.util package, and then you can store this one in some reference variable. So I am mentioning with some variable name is al, and this data type is array list. This data type is array list. Okay, so I am creating the object for this one. So object got created, object array list object created, and if I want to store the values, so where some predefined methods is there. So with the help of those methods, you can store the values. For example, al dot add. Add is the method which is used to store the objects. For example, if I click on add method, so here I would like to store some values. I would like to store some values like some Razu, and then okay, same. Similarly, al dot add method can store multiple like homo heterogeneous, meaning you can store numbers. Okay, and then al dot. So we are adding the values, but the values internally it will be stored based on the index positions only. Al dot add. Here I am storing again some Rani. Okay, if I want to retrieve this all the data all will be available in the al, right? If I want to store the retrieve the values, so simply you can take the sysout statement, and then you can look for the al, and you can save this one, and then you can print this one. We are getting the data, all the data which is storing in the format of array only. Okay, Razu, and then 100 Rani, 100 and Rani. So not only this one, and where we have some predefined methods. Okay, first we are done add method, which is used to add the values, which is used to add the values, add the values or add the object. Anything is fine. Okay, add the object. Next, where we have some methods. Methods are like if I go to the this one, like if you are look for al dot, so these are the methods: clear method, clone method, method, contains all method. These all are the methods. We done with the add method. I can I can add the duplicate values also. For example, Rani already the data is there, right? For example, al dot add. I can add the duplicate value. Rani one more time also I can add. So this is the thing. I'm saving this one, and if I run this one, run on Java application, we are getting the data. So the duplicate value is also possible. The duplicate value is also possible. Next thing is null values. Null values also possible. Add, and then if I mention with some null values, if I mention with some null, and then I'm saving this one. If I would like to print this one, if you see here how I am adding, first I am adding the Razu and then 100, Rani, null. Okay, the same. Insertion order is preserved or not. How I am storing the values in the same way it is also printing. So that is the insertion order. How we are adding the values. Similarly, it will also display on the console. That is the I would say it will maintain insertion order. It will maintain insertion order. Okay, insertion order is preserved. And next we have the some more methods like al dot. If you click on dot operator, these all the methods. These all are the methods. Okay. First we'll try with contains method meaning. So it will return the boolean. It will return the boolean. For example, if I click on the contains, and then for example, in this array 100 value is there, right? So for example, I am click on the array, and then so array is the value which is already available, right? So which is available, then it will return the true. Which is not available, then it will return the false. So contains is the method which is used to find out the object will be there or not there. Okay, object is present or not present. You can check with the contains method. For example, here I'm taking this one, and then so this one you can mention in some sysout statement. Sysout statement. I'm taking some sysout statement. Here you can pass with contains method, and you can save this one, and then you can run this one. True, right? If I pass any other number, like if I pass some 90, and then if I save this one, if I run this one, it will return the false. Why? Because this number is not available in our list, right? So that's why it will return the false value. Similarly, where we have some other methods also, like al dot clear method. If you want to clear the all the elements in the array list, for example, I will show you clear method, and then I will mention al, and then if I print, if you see all the variable got cleared. So are you guys clear with my point? All the elements will be stored in the this variable, right? So when I'm using the clear method, all the variables will be deleted. All the variables will be cleared. That is the advantage with the clear method. Clear method which is used to clear the clear the variable. Okay. Next, where we have the some other methods, clear method, and the methods are also no need to remember. If you click on the AL and then press on the dot, these are the methods. Contains all. Contains all meaning, so it will contains the like the where objects or not. So this one we will discuss in the tomorrow, like a linked list and array list. Next thing is empty. Is empty is the method. For example, so the empty, now it is the empty or not? No, this is not empty. So that's why if it is not empty, then it will tell, it will return the boolean values. We can take with the sysout statement, sysout statement, and then here we can pass with is empty, and then save, and then you can run this one, and you are getting the false. It is not empty. It is filling with some values. Okay, is empty is the method which is used to check the our array list is empty or not. Okay. Next thing, the method is l dot index position, where we have remove. For example, if I click on the remove, if I want to remove the 100, if I click on this one, and then if I save this one, if I run this one, the object got removed. Index out of the transaction. Remove this one, save this one, and then you can run this one. Which one? 0, 1. The 100 got removed. So it will be removed the values based on the index position. Remove is the method. We can remove the values based on the index position. Okay, for example, if I mention with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I mention 0, remove. You can save this one. 100 Rani, Rani and null. 100 Rani, Rani. Okay. So this is the multiple methods we have. Okay. So as of now, what you guys will do, we can prepare this all the theory before why the collection framework they has introduced and all. Okay, what is the difference between the array and collection, and what are the limitations we have in the arrays. Collection is the advanced topic of the arrays. To overcome some drawbacks in the arrays, they has introduced the collection topic. Okay, what are the drawbacks here? What is the difference between the arrays and collections, and what is the difference between collection and collection framework? What is the difference between collection and collection? Okay, please go through these all the topics, and you can do assignments on the analyst, and you can take the screenshot, and you can